Hello 11th class students. In our previous video we have started our very first chapter, that is living world, and we have studied about the living objects, their properties, difference between living and non-living. So students, today in this video we will move forward and study about some new topics, and the very first topic that we will start today is biodiversity. We have discussed a little about this in our previous video. Biodiversity means, students, the presence of different type of living organisms on the earth, either animal or plants. More than 6 lakh of types of animals are found on the earth and more than 5 lakh types of the plants present on the earth. So, these living organisms get interacted with each other, they are dependent on each other and they make our nature stable. So, the presence of different kinds of living organisms on the earth, that is known as biodiversity. Actually students, biodiversity is very important with respect to balance of the nature. So, if any type of the living organisms get disturbed or its population decreases, the whole balance of the nature disturbed. So, in order to maintain the balance of the nature, we must have to preserve the biodiversity. Next students, if this huge amount or huge number of different types of species are present on the earth, then it is very difficult to study each and every animal separately or each and every living organism separately. So, in order to make the study of the living organisms easy, scientists classify the living organism in different groups. That is known as classification of the living organisms. So, students, classification of the organism, that means the process or the phenomena in which the living organisms, either plants or animals, are grouped in different groups on the basis of their physiological, anatomical or morphological characters. We will study them in detail. There are different chapters related to classification of the living organisms. But first of all, we see that what is the need of classification, why scientists classify the living organisms in different groups. So, first of all, if we see classification of living organisms. Classification, the need of classification is first of all to make the study easy. Study easy. If we study lakhs of the individual animals, then it will take a lot of time. So, in order to study combinedly according to their characters, if the living organisms are divided into 4 to 5 groups, then we have to study the characters of the groups only, because if particular organism belong to group 1, that means it will follow the characters of the group first, which we decided in order to place it in that group. So, students, it makes the study easy. Second thing, students, it helps, this classification helps us to understand the interaction between the living organisms, that the particular organisms that are belonging to one group must have interaction in between them. That is why they are placed in one group. So, the second thing is that to understand the interaction between organisms. That is the second need of the classification. Thirdly, this classification helps us to identify the organism. Suppose a new organism is discovered and it is present in somewhere in earth. So if we want to identify, we just observe the character of that organism and compare or search it in that particular group, the group which having that character. So if that organism is not present there, we can easily identify that it is a newly identified species of the living organism. So third thing, in order to identify the organism, or if we want to find out the organism of particular character, we can easily find it inside that group. Next thing is that students, this classification helps us to identify the origin of the living organisms. So how it helps us to identify the origin of the organisms? That if we decide the group on the basis of their habitat or their characters, then if a group having characters of the aquatic living organism, then we can easily identify that this organism has been evolved in aquatic condition. So fourth important of the classification is to identify the origin of the living organisms. To identify the origin of living organisms. So student, these are the some reasons why we need to classify the living organisms. And one more thing is that it helps us to understand the organic evolution of the living organism. Let's understand what is organic evolution. Understand the organic evolution. Here students, organic evolution, that means in lower classes you have studied about how the life develops on the earth. In ancient time, there were primitive organisms were present. They have very simple cellular structures. Their cell was of prokaryotic type, and later on, due course of the evolution or development of the structure of the body, complications come in living organisms, and there develops the complicated living organisms. So the step by step development of the living organisms on the earth, or the life, the study of that thing, that how the life get complicated from the easier living organisms or from the simplest living organism, is known as evolution or organic evolution. So if you identify the living organisms and place them on the basis of their group, then the primitive type of organisms which have simplest their body structure, they will place in one group. Then the other group of the living organisms which have some complicated body structure, they will place in second group. Then the living organisms which have more complicated body structure will be placed in next group. So in this way students, we can easily identify the organic evolution by which the life develops on the earth. So these are the basic need of the classification of the living organisms. Now we will see students which are the main steps for classification. So in order to understand the main steps of the classification, the very first step is taxonomy. We have discussed about the taxonomy. Now see in detail what exactly the taxonomy is. Taxonomy, actually, student, it is a branch of biology. In taxonomy, we identify the living organisms about its habitat, where it is found, and then give it a name. Actually, the name which we give, it is not its local name, it is scientific name which is same all over the world. So, taxonomy is the branch of biology or branch of science which deals with identification and nomenclature of the living organisms that are newly discovered. So, now students, we will see that which are the main branches of the taxonomy. So, if we see, taxonomy can be broadly classified into three parts. These are alpha taxonomy, beta taxonomy and omega taxonomy. In alpha taxonomy, the living organisms are identified on the basis of their morphological characters only. The characters which are appeared in them, on the basis of that characters, if we classify the living organisms or provide a name to that living organism, that taxonomy is known as alpha taxonomy. But in beta taxonomy, along with the morphological characters, their anatomical, physiological, all the characters, their habitat, their habits, all things are considered, and then it is classified into different groups, and then we provide it a name. So that is the beta taxonomy. In omega taxonomy, students, we consider the evidences of the genetic evolution. That means how the genetic codes or genetic combination or DNA is present in the living organism. We consider the genetic information of the living organisms, and on the basis of that genetic information, we classify and provide the name to the living organisms. That process is known as omega taxonomy. So, students, taxonomy is the branch of science which deals with identification and nomenclature of the living organisms, and taxonomy have main three parts, that is alpha taxonomy, beta taxonomy and omega taxonomy. Now students, we will see that what are the main key points of the classification of the living organisms or the taxonomy. So, main elements of taxonomy. Our next topic is main elements of the taxonomy. So, students, it is very simple that if we want to identify a living organisms, then classify it, give a name, which steps we have to follow. So, first of all, actually in this there are three elements of the taxonomy. The first is identification. Identification, that means students, to identify the living organisms on the basis of its characters or its genetic information or its physiology, anatomy, by any characters, if it is different from all the living organisms which were discovered earlier, then we have to identify the new living organisms which is till date not known. So, that process of identification, that process of knowing the new living organisms is known as identification. Now, if we have identified the living organism, then second step, to provide a name to it, we have to give it a name. That means we have to give it its identity. So, its nomenclature. Now, what is nomenclature? To provide the name newly identified living organism is called nomenclature. Now, if we have provided the name to the living organism, then our next step should be its classification. That if we divided the all living organisms in different groups, then this newly identified organism should belong to which group. So, now the third thing that we will do, we will classify this living organism. Classify or classification. We will put it with the living organisms or in group to whom it can be belong. For which group it suited the most characteristically, we will put it in that group. So, these are the three main steps or main elements of the taxonomy, that is identification. First of all, identify the living organisms. Then second thing, its nomenclature. If we have identified the new living organism, then we have to provide it a name. And then third step is to classify it into a group, that in which group we have to put it. Okay students, so the next point is that which are the basic groups or basic categories in which we can classify or we can put the living organisms. So students, about this different groups you have studied in your lower classes. Now we will see them in detail, that which types of groups are there in which we can put the living organisms. So here our new topic is basic categories used in classification or categories of classification. Categories of classification. So students, in lower classes you have studied about the kingdoms, that different types of kingdoms are there in 9th class. Now we will see which are the subgroups. First of all, if we classify the all living world into huge groups, then we call them kingdom. Kingdom, the kingdom is a group of phylum or division. If we classify the animal, then we call it phylum, and if we classify the plants, then we call it division. So kingdom is a combination of either phylum or division. Actually, division and phylums are smaller than the kingdom. Now, these phylums are combination of class. We will understand that what are classes. Class are the group of orders, and orders are group of families. Here students, the family are group of genus, and genus are group of species. Nowadays a new category, that is subspecies, is also used, but we have to see first of all these groups. Here student, you can see the species in the last of the series. So here species is actually the smallest unit of the classification, and the group of the species or identical species is known as genus. And if so many genuses combine together, they form family, and group of family forms order. Then group of orders form class, then group of class form either phylum or division. Phylum is used for animals and division is used for plants. And these division or phylums, they form kingdom. In later chapters we will study about the 5 kingdoms, that means 5 broad or large group of living organisms, or the living organisms all that are present on the earth or in water. They are classified into 5 huge groups. That is the topic of division. We will see it later, but you have to learn this, that species, genus, family, order, class, division or phylum and kingdom. All this step by step division. First of all, kingdom, phylum or division, class, order, family, genus and species. Okay student. So, if a new organism is found, then we will see that which largest group it may be belong. Then these have their specific characters. That classes are formed on the specific characters. They have different classes have different characters. Then within a class, different orders are present which have distinguished characters. So, if we gradually decrease in this hierarchical condition, then in the last species comes. The characters of 2 species do not meet each other. Only some members can be distinguished on the basis of their internal characters or their characters according to their environmental conditions. We can consider them in subspecies. For example, we take example of the cow. Then all cows are identical. They may have different breed, but they are known as cow. We call them cow because cow is a species of the animal. So, characteristics of genus, the species belonging to the same genus may be same, but the species are different to each other. So, students, these are the basic categories used in classification. Now, we will see them one by one. First of all, we see about the species. What exactly is species? What are the properties of the species? How we decide a species? So, students, in order to decide the species, we have 3 concepts, that is morphological, biological and genetical. Morphological, biological and the last one is genetical. Morphological concept of the species is that if the living organisms are identical to each other, we can call them a species. Just only their external feature decides that these are the species, they are distinguished from each other. But if you talk biologically, then biologically, when the living organisms of the identical nature can interbreed, they can have reproductive functions within them. That property decides the biological way of deciding a species. Genetical concept of the deciding species is that the member of that species have same gene pool, they have the same genetic character. So, these are the 3 bases on which we can identify or we can decide the species of different organisms. Now, students, along with the species, a new concept, that is subspecies, is also found. Subspecies, that means, students, the member of the same species, but due course of their change in their environment, the habitat where they live, if that habitat is changing in the geographical condition, a little structural changes or color in the body get changed from place to place. So these create a variations between the members of the same species. So if the members of the same species are distinguished by their color or their a little body shape from each other, then they form a new species. So division within a species are known as subspecies of the living organisms.